beautiful people. I pray that you guys are blessed and highly favored. It's been in my heart to make a lot of videos or to kind of be in the direction of speaking to my younger self, speaking to my sister, speaking to my daughter, speaking to a friend that has a daughter who's continuously making the wrong choices. And I pray that this video will bless someone today who life just feel completely off track, and it will help them get back on track with their lives. So my name is Birikorang. Welcome back to my page on my channel. Please support by subscribing, following, do what you do, and this will support what myself and my husband is doing over here. Whew. This topic is going to be a bit touchy, but I'm speaking to you from experience. I'm speaking to you from the person who been there, done that. Yeah, I did it. I did it 3 times. Okay, I did it 3 times. Okay, so I'm not talking to you from the surface place. I'm talking to you from a deep place, a place where I get it, but also a place where I think I know what's best based on experience. Now, I'm 31. I'll be 32 in a couple of months. But I honestly feel, because I started life so young, I'll say 13, I feel like I'm in my 50s, my 60s. And it's not a bad thing that I feel more mature than I actually am. My child is in some areas. I'm sure my husband will say that I am. But when it comes to this, I think I should actually have a doctrine. I'm a Dr. Kenesha in this area, not just based on knowledge, but just based on the experience of life. And so today I'm talking about why I think it's best to not have sex and not have children out of marriage. Not to say that you cannot get married, have children, then have a divorce. That's a whole nother conversation to come, because I've been married for almost 7 years and I'm just learning about marriage. Okay, so I have some topics there and some speculation to why I believe some marriage that have high potential do not last. But we're not going to get into there. We're going to get into the topic to why I believe that you should stop having sex right now if that person has not given their life for you. And if you've already have children outside of marriage, it's already done. But I would encourage you, do not continue doing that. And this is coming from someone who did it 3 times, okay? Those who haven't been watching my videos much, let me just start with a little brief background. Started having sex quite young. Tried at 13, failed, ended up doing it on my 14th birthday. Actually, it was a success with my high school crush. Those who knew me from young probably know who this is. And it was a success, and went off from there. Got pregnant at 17, had my first child at 18, second child at 19, and third child at 23. So I wasn't married to any of these guys. They were relationships and abusive, even on my part, mentally, physically, social, just in every kind of way abusive, dysfunctional, and end up having kids outside of marriage. But I feel like I was a child myself. I didn't know anything about marriage, didn't know anything about sex. Was just doing what I saw on television, doing what I saw in my surroundings at the time. And I was doing it ignorantly, not knowing the purpose of sex. If you don't know the purpose of sex, you shouldn't be having sex. Research what you're doing. Find out. Get in details of what you're doing. Was in relationships. Didn't know anything about relationships at all. If you're in a relationship and you're not reading about relationships, then what are you doing? was just completely making a mess of my life. Because when you're young, your relationship become your goal. It become your priority. It become your focus. And so being young, what you should be focusing on is self-development, self-love, self-growth, becoming someone. What skills am I going to have to bring in income? What do I want for myself 1 year, 2 year, 3 year from now? When do I want to move out on my own? How am I going to afford to move out on my own? These are the things that I should be thinking about. Becoming independent, finding myself as a young lady, so that when marriage present itself, I'm a wife, right? But that was not my focus. My focus was being loved and filling this void, and through wanting to be loved, wanted to fill this void, I end up in many relationships, many sexual encounters, broken, lost, and ignorant to what I was doing to myself, what I was doing to my life, and even ways that I've personally hurt people around me who were also void, also looking for love, and also wanted someone to cling to feed their pain and their darkness. So the reason why I would encourage you to stop having children out of marriage is because it's not healthy for you, especially if you want to get married. And not to say a man will not pick you up with the children that you have and love and take care of your children, but in the sight of some men, your value decrease. In the sight of some men, please take that some on board. Your value decrease. So the potential of marrying someone who don't want you or their partner to have children for another man, don't want that drama of baby fathers, drama of what that comes with. They might pass on the fact that you have kids, and it's a hard thing to believe, but it's true. And some who are playing games may not say this to you, might fool with you sexually, but to take you on and commit to you, they won't. However, I must say there are some good men like my husband who will find a broken young lady with 3 children and will love on them until they become whole, by showering them with God and showering them with love and prayer. And I thank God for that. But I'm just saying, it's good to know your choices. And one of the choices that you have is to stop having children from men who have not given their life for you. And what do I mean by that? The Bible talks about a man leaving his mother and his father and clinging to his wife. The Bible talks about a man loving his wife as Jesus loved the church, and Jesus loved the church to death, literally to death. And so if this man is not willing to give up his life for you, is he worth it? And how do you know that? That's for another video. But to give up your life, you got to understand that this man is giving up. His finances become yours. Yeah, his whole lifestyle become yours, right? And so if this man isn't a well-developed, self-confident man, but a woman beater, alcoholic, drug abuser, that life will become yours. He's given that life to you. Everything he has become yours. And so when you're ignorant of who you are as a woman, when you are in your prime, which is usually when you're younger, 25 and under, to some men, not all, you lose out on having the best life possible. Do you understand? When I think back on the things that I could have accomplished if I had good guidance, if I had good sense, yes, if I was committed to being the best me, I've lost many years because of failed relationships and failed romance, because of lust and because of my body wanting a moment of pleasure, which would end up affecting my own life, my whole life. And listen, I'm not saying that my children are not blessings. I'm not saying that I regret my children, but I am saying that if I had made better choices, my children would have a better life, and that I would have preferred to have my children for one man than to have 3 baby daddies. That is what I'm saying. And I am saying that the choices that I made I have to live with. Whether I was ignorant, whether I didn't know better, whether you know, whether I was young, whatever I can say, I still made those choices, and I still have to live with those choices. And what you need to understand is every choice that you make concerning your body, concerning sex, concerning who you're having sex with, who you're having babies with, who would you get married to. Yes, and if you're considering getting married and you're not being counseled, and you're not reading and you're not educating yourself about marriage and who you are as a woman and what kind of man is actually a man, because I came to find out that not everyone that has a between his leg is a man, because some men think with that thing between their legs and not think with the logic of their mind. And so we also as women sometimes think with what's between us and not with our mind, because we want pleasure, we want to feel validated, we want to feel loved and adored, we want to feel sexy. But after you felt sexy for a couple of seconds, you have to live with the consequences of who you're having sex with, what kind of soul ties you have, and how many you have, and what it's doing to you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially, and however else it is affecting your life. You gotta live with that. I had to live with becoming a mom at 18. Had no clue about babies, had no clue about what to do, was a high school dropout. Didn't finish high school, had nothing, no skill, nothing. Was dependent on my mother to buy clothes and baby nappies. Yeah, and then I ended up in a relationship because this man could take care of me financially. Not understanding finances isn't everything. He can take care of me, but he can also lower my self-esteem by bringing other women in the relationship that me and you didn't agree on. I mean, some men, they are mature enough to let the woman know what it is, right? But other men, they're sneaky and conniving, and they will have women on the side that you will eventually find out about, and it will hit your confidence, and it will hit your self-esteem and who you know you to be. And so now this person, yes, he's providing financially, but he's breaking you mentally and emotionally, socially, and more. And so I realized that every choice that I was making and every choice that I made had an effect on me. And I woke up at 24. Now, by 24, I've already had 3 kids, right? How old are you? How much children do you have? And if you don't have none, how much do you want out of a relationship or a marriage with a man that would not give his life for you? How much do you want with a man who disrespects you and degrades you? How much do you want with a man that isn't even involved and would not be involved in your children's life? My daughter still asks for her dad. He's never seen her face to face. I have to live with that. So every choice we make, no matter our age, no matter if We can blame it on anything, anyone, our parents. Like I used to blame my mother for everything. I used to blame God for everything. And I had to realize God never told me to go in and sleep with those people. God told me not to. And God told me not to. And I chose to go and sleep with that person. I chose to go and lay in that bed. I chose to go and give my body to somebody that would not be a good father, is not my husband, would not be a good person to me. And so everything that we do, no matter how old you are right now, whether you're 12, 13, whether you're in your 20s, in your prime stage of life, whether in your late 30s, 40s, everything you do will affect your outcome. There's consequences. There's consequences in not knowing who you are. There's consequences in not reading. Oh my God. There is consequences in not reading. And I don't mean no sex novel. I mean picking up a book on self-development, picking up a book on finances, picking up a book on what sex truly is and what it means to be married, picking up a book in the things in the areas in our lives that is depleting and depriving and never becoming, year after year, never becoming better. And you cannot do better in the areas that you refuse to learn. Okay, I wanted someone to love me and I wanted to be loved, and I had no clue what love is. I had absolutely no clue what love is. I've been married for almost 7 years. I just realized I didn't have no clue what marriage was until I started reading these marriage books, started getting marriage counseling, I was in the church, guys. I was in the church. Yeah, and us Christians, we love reading the Bible. We love reading spiritual books, but the Bible says my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Your marriage is perishing. Your family is perishing because you refuse to gain the knowledge through reading. Now, to my ladies who are having sex with all these multiple partners, you are having soul ties. You are having soul ties with all these people, and you are wondering why your life is a shipwreck. You are wondering why things are the way they are, and you do not understand spiritual things like I did. I didn't understand spiritual things. You don't understand physical things like I did, even though I did sex education. Yeah, I did drop out of high school. I did drop out of school, but I do remember having sex education class. They don't teach you these things. They teach you about your reproductive systems and how it operates. They tell you things you don't really understand. I didn't understand what they were telling me. I clearly didn't understand because I got pregnant 3 times and it didn't click. It didn't somehow click that you're having sex, right? You think you're just getting pregnant? You think you're the Virgin Mary? No, you're having sex. And I realized just because you have the information doesn't mean you understand it. That's why you see these young people, even older people, doing stupidness because they have information. They know that when that happened, but they have not really, they don't really know. Took me 3 times to have 3 children to realize it's because you're having sex. Like, you're having sex, unprotected sex at that. Don't be shocked when you get pregnant. Again. And I had to get to a place where I stopped having sex. I literally stopped. I stopped. And I thank God for that. I actually do not take I don't take any glory for that. I don't. I know it's because I got serious with my relationship with God out of a desperate place. And I stopped having sex. So I would advise you stop having children. The best way to stop having children, if you're not married, is to stop having sex. Stop giving your body, your temple, to everybody and then expect to be married by the man of your dreams. Now is the time to be focusing on you. Now is the time to be reading and building you and to get right in God. I'm not talking about religiously. I'm not sending you to church. If God could lead you to a church, praise God. But I'm talking about a personal relationship, a personal encounter with the higher self. I'm talking about the Creator. You know, and when you get that right, when you stop giving your body to everybody, you will see a dramatic change in your life. Guys, my drama, my problems in life just fell off. Not to say I don't have problems. I'm just saying I don't have half, not even a quarter of the issues that I used to have when I was running around acting like a chicken head. Right? And so you got to understand that when you are having different sexual partners and you're giving your body away to people and you're having children that you're not even ready to have, you're not ready, right? You're having it with someone who's not going to be supportive, who's not going to marry you. You don't even want to marry them. It was a one night thing, right? The relationship wasn't serious, right? You're going to have to face the consequences that you chose, right? Now, some people might be saying, well, Ken, this is easy for you to say. You're married. I wasn't looking for a man when I got married. Ask my husband. I was terrified of men. I wasn't looking. I was focusing on me. I was focusing on becoming my best self. I got tired of these broken relationships, tired of these failed encounters, tired of having baby fathers after baby fathers who's just constantly causing drama in my life. I was tired. And so was men approaching me? They sure was. Not even men, because I know they weren't men. They weren't men. They did not put away their childish ways, right? But because I started focusing on self, not only could I recognize that this person have not put away childish things, but I believe I started recognizing this because I started focusing on an inner person. And because I started growing and develop inwardly, I was seeing life differently, and my expectation went from little to more. And yes, I had 3 children out of wedlock, but that did not define who I was becoming. Yeah, just because I made these choices in my past doesn't mean I need to continue making them. I have the choice to change the way that I was thinking, change the way that I was doing things, change the way that I was viewing life, and change the choices that I was making. And you also have the option to do this, right? And so even though young guys were approaching me, I was in a place where thank God I was able to be like, no, I'm not interested. I'm good, thank you. Because I was tired. And I will ask you not to get to a place where you're tired, but get to a place where you're being logical and you're thinking about the relationships you're getting into, thinking about the choices you're making when it comes to sex. Research about what a good man is. Research about becoming the best you. And as you grow and as you develop, you will attract better people, better relationship, better friendship, and your husband, right? And I think talking about husband is going to be a different video, but who you become and who you becoming will determine the person that you will say yes to. And understand that you saying yes is you allowing this person to become your husband. Yeah, a lot of people say that men choose the woman, but no, you choose the man, because he can propose to you, but he has to wait to hear whether you're going to say yes or no. And the man that you have standing next to you is the man that you said yes to. He reflects you. He reflects who you are. And we tend to not realize that we are attracting the people who we are, right? And so if there's an issue with the man that you have, it is a reflection of who you chose. And you got to dig deep and find out why you chose someone who would beat you. Why you chose, and I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying there's something programming you to accept this kind of behavior, whether you saw it as a child and dysfunction is your normal. You now have to get that out of your system, deprogram that, and reprogram yourself and reboot yourself to becoming the person who you see yourself to be and the person that you want to attract, right? So I wanted to feel safe with someone, but would he feel safe with me? I wanted to feel loved by someone. Would he feel loved by me? And do I even know what that means, right? Do I know what it means to make someone feel safe? Do I know what it means to make someone feel loved? And these are the things that I had to come to an understanding of, and it didn't come right away. It took me time to get to a place, well, if I want that, how do I present that? How do I become that? Right? And so a lot of things that I grew up seeing and I grew up experiencing, I had to realize that that was from a dysfunctional place. It was not okay. I had to forgive my mother for even allowing us in that surrounding, my father for not being there, but also forgive myself, right? For making the choices that I made. And I had to start making new choices, better choices. One was stop having sex. And I give glory for that, to God for that. Because during that time, I believe God washed me, cleansed me, purified me, and removed some ties from me, some soul ties, some dark spirits, okay? Some dark entities from me that I encountered through people, through sex. And so my question is, are you ready to change? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to work hard and become who you want to be, and to say no to sex, and yes to becoming the best you, until your time has come for marriage, right? And as I said, it's not easy, but when you want it and when you're sick and tired, you will do what you have to do. Yeah. If that's a yes, I'm going to give you 5 things to do. 1, start looking around and seeing who's for you and who's not for you. 2, start committing yourself to God, prayer, reading your Bible, learning who you are. 3, start reading books in the areas that you want to become better at. Commit to these areas, commit to change, commit to what you say you're going to do, and be determined. Do not give up. God bless you. Please share this video, subscribe, follow our page, and remember, you are worth a man giving up his life for you. I'm going to do a video on how to choose them, and much more on you recognizing who you are as a woman. God bless.